I mean, I think from an investor perspective, Brexit has equated to cost and disruption. It has created uncertainty. As you mentioned in your intro, we've seen a lot of investment into Ireland as a result of it. Over 80 companies have identifiably moved functions to Ireland because of Brexit. Mainly financial services, but also pharma and medical technologies, anything touched by regulation.
How much of those moves do you believe are directly because of the Brexit threat versus just they want to be in Ireland, 12.5% corporate tax?
Well, I think there's a couple of things there. Firstly, we've had an extraordinarily strong run of investment for over the past 5 years. So even pre-Brexit, extraordinarily strong run of investment. And that is because of a lot of things, including a very consistent, transparent, competitive corporation tax rate. But also it's the availability of talent. In fact, we have access to a European labour market of 200 million people. You mentioned that we have one of the youngest labour forces in the OECD. So all of those things are contributing to making Ireland attractive. So it isn't just about Brexit, but obviously Brexit created, for some companies, an existential threat. They're trading into Europe and they needed to continue to trade into Europe, and therefore they had to choose another European location.
And I think you've been so attractive on the tax rate side as well as saying, and you are clearly tied to Europe, right? There's no
question. Absolutely no question.
The Irish exit is a separate term, as we know, just disappearing from a party. But is there a risk of an Irish exit?
None. That is the one thing investors can be absolutely sure on. Regardless of what type of Brexit we have, we're going to continue to be part of Europe. Investors who are based in Ireland can continue to trade into Europe. And the support for the European Union in Ireland is really high. Over 90% popular support for the European Union. So there is no prospect of...
How does a lowered corporate tax rate here impact your competitiveness?
Listen, all countries change their corporation tax mix from time to time. So anything, if you lower corporation tax in one country, it makes that country more competitive. I think, though, people maybe read too much into the corporation tax piece. I think it's the stability of the corporation tax rate that has benefited us. The fact that companies know exactly what they're getting if they invest in Ireland. And there are a lot of other things that you have to be able to do.
You don't have politicians there saying, let's raise the corporate tax or re-raise the corporate tax rate.
No, we have extraordinarily, I think, centrist politics. The two parties that have governed the state since its foundation alternately have pretty similar pro-enterprise policies. So there is no prospect, I think, anytime, and certainly the current government had been extraordinarily clear that there's no prospect of adjustments.
So who's your competitor? If I'm a company, Google, JP Morgan Chase, Apple, many of the companies based there, or maybe companies looking to go, and we're talking about maybe dispersing our headquarters, is Frankfurt your competitor now? Is it still London? Is it New York?
I think all of the above. I mean, I think some companies have looked globally and said, well, where do we want to regroup to? I think the UK remains a strong competitor. And I believe, regardless of what happens with Brexit, will remain a strong competitor. It has benefited significantly from inward investment into Europe. If you look at kind of independent analysis as to where financial services, Brexit-related investments have gone, Ireland tops the table and Frankfurt is second.
Just quickly, I'm going to ask you to opine on your economy, if you don't mind. Because you guys got hot, then you got overstated in real estate, then you kind of got really cold. You're hot again. Are you making the same mistakes that you guys did last time?
I don't believe so. I mean, certainly our ambition is sustained growth. So, not up and down, we want sustained growth. I think we're making the right decisions. I think we're making the right investments. And we have, I think, a really good proposition for investors.